to have and to hold, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. The vows ingrained in all our minds, as a symbol of everlasting love, unconditional love. We were taught that a marriage is the pinnacle of all loving romantic relationships, and in a marriage there is a promise to love, to honor, to comfort, and to keep, in sickness and in health. But what about till death do us part? Is it taken seriously? And not just one, but 3 marriages end in murder? Why do some marriages end in murder? Welcome back to Crime Island. And today's case takes us from the sunny beaches of Portland, Jamaica, all the way across to the US in Austin, Texas. This is the case of the father and son killers, Everton and Andrean McDonald. Everton McDonald, commonly known as Beachy Stout, is one of 4 sons of Joyce McDonald. Growing up in Portland, he was known for his larger-than-life personality. As an adult, by Jamaican standard, he grew up to be pretty well off. He enjoyed hosting parties, living the high life, spending time with friends and family, and yes, a bit of horse race gambling.
Beachy Stout are the richest stout man ever come across Portland. And I must be the first billionaire so in a Portland. Hold that. No apology.
Eventually, Everton settled down in the quiet neighborhood of Bournebrook in his home parish of Portland with his first wife, Marlene McDonald. Everton and Marlene enjoyed several years together and built up a strong portfolio of businesses that they operated throughout the parish. Marlene, also known as Petal, was a very strong and self-confident lady, a true entrepreneur at heart with strong family values. Eventually, cracks began to show in the relationship between Everton and Marlene. In 2009, Marlene was tragically murdered. According to reports, she arrived home after a long day at work at approximately 10:20 p.m. She then exited the vehicle to retrieve her belongings. It was at that moment that she was gunned down by unknown assailants. She was tragically taken from this world. She received 3 gunshot wounds to the head and was found laying on the ground in a pool of blood. Eyewitnesses reported seeing 2 men running from the scene and escaping in an awaiting motor car. An investigation was launched into her murder. However, the trail went cold. "12 years later, the case was reopened, and the courts heard an unbelievable tale. A tale of anger, jealousy, and the extent of what money can buy. It is alleged that Everton McDonald paid a police detective, Corporal Duncan, to carry out the murder of his wife. According to Everton's nephew, his uncle told him that he paid to have Marlene killed because she was going to leave him and he did not want her to be with anyone else following their separation. His nephew also stated that at one point he visited Marlene, who gave him a bowl of soup to give to his uncle. When he went to his uncle's home, he saw Detective Duncan. The detective was shocked to see him. His uncle sought to calm the detective's nerves by telling him that he should not worry because he was his right hand. Following Marlene's murder, Everton's nephew received a call. and went to his uncle's home. He saw him with a toxic chemical and a length of rope. His uncle expressed regret over the killing of his wife and wanted to take his own life. There is no word that can describe Everton McDonald. Following the details of this case, the words cruel and evil would simply be an understatement. But Everton is not the only man in his family with a thirst for murder. It was recently revealed that Everton had a son, Andrean McDonald, who grew up in Portland, Jamaica. After finishing school, he immigrated to the US and joined the Air Force in 2004. He holds a master's degree in engineering. In 2014, he was assigned to the cyber warfare unit at a base in San Antonio. As a cyber warfare officer, Andrean oversaw personnel developing and maintaining systems that allowed for Air Force cyber operators to defend the service's worldwide network. Andrean, his wife, who also grew up in Portland to parents Paul Anderson and Hyacinth Ferron, Andrean studied at Kitchfield High School, a prestigious high school in Portland. She then continued her education at Excelsior Community College, earning an associate's degree in business marketing. In 2008, Andrean arrived in the United States and was accepted in Northwest Florida State College. She also graduated from the University of Texas with a bachelor's degree in business administration. When Andrean was 19, she married Andrean McDonald in Broward County in Florida. After that, the pair eventually settled in San Antonio, where Andre served in the Air Force. The couple worked together and grew the business along with Andrean's mom. Andrean had 2 registered assisted living facilities, and another was in the works. However, she forgot that she was married to a McDonald. Andrean and Andre were always arguing. The arguments were so horrible. In February of 2017, 8 years after their marriage, Andre filed for divorce, but the petition was dismissed several months later. There were also several domestic violence calls made to their home, according to court documents. On February 28, 2019, Andrean failed to show up for her 5 a.m. workout. Suspicions quickly grew when neither Andre nor Andrean were answering their phone. After brewing concerns, a staffer and a friend of Andrean went to the home and found that there was no one there. They entered through the back door and found the bed in the master bedroom in disarray. The smell of bleach was very strong in the bathroom, and it appeared someone had cleaned up. They also saw blood on the light switch in the master bathroom and a zipper in the fire outside. The police were called. While the police were there, Andre arrived. He told officers that his wife was being treated at Baptist Emergency Hospital on US 281. But when authorities informed him that the hospital was unable to confirm that his wife was there, he stated that he has no knowledge of his wife's whereabouts, and he noted that the two had an argument the night prior. Moments later, investigators discovered 2 torn receipts indicating Andre had bought a shovel, an axe, a hatchet, large heavy-duty plastic bags, gloves, and 2 5-gallon cans of gas on Saturday, the day after Andrean went missing. Investigators found many of those items in the back of McDonald's car. They also discovered coveralls in a trash can and found another fire pit that was not present during the previous search. Investigators determined that it had been used to destroy papers and other items. Andrean McDonald was arrested on March 3rd, 2019, on a charge of tampering with evidence.
As investigators search for clues that can help them find a missing mother feared dead, her husband sits in jail in connection with her disappearance.
Andrean McDonald charged with tampering with evidence.
At some point, Andrean's staffer and her friend, who initially went to the home to check if Andrean was there, decided to pick up Andrean and Andre's 8-year-old daughter, who told them, "Daddy hurt Mommy." One of the witnesses told the police that Andrean told her many times that if she went missing, it would be because Andre killed her. Another witness, Jude Lorenzana, a manager of Andrean's facility, said that a month before her disappearance, she saw Andrean with scratches on her face, and when she asked about it, she told her that it was Andre that struck her. Hundreds of volunteers searched extensively for Andrean's body in various locations in the North Bexar County for weeks. Her remains were eventually found on July of 2019, just 6 miles from the couple's home. Andrean McDonald was indicted on October 2019 on a murder charge and 5 counts of tampering with evidence. His attorney successfully argued to have bail. He was released November 2021 after his bail was reduced to approximately $300,000, much to the disarray of the family and friends of Andrean. Going back to Everton, in January 2012, Everton registered a business called Marlene Enterprise Limited with his second wife, Tonia McDonald. According to checks made with the Jamaica company's office, Everton, along with Tonia McDonald, were both named as the owner and director of the entity. The core activity of the business is the operation of supermarkets. However, according to Tonia's Facebook profile, she became the managing director of Marlene in 2009, the same year his first wife died. So it would have seemed that the business was in operation sometime before it was registered, which is very common in Jamaica. Tonia grew up with her loving parents in Portland, where she attended Titchfield High School. At home, her family and friends would affectionately give her the nickname Sassy. Tonia, who enjoyed spending time with her loved ones, was heartbroken in 2018 when her dad was killed and her mom hospitalized following a tragic robbery. 2 men alighted from a vehicle demanding the handbag of her mom. Even though they complied, the couple was shot and the men fled. They were taken to the hospital where her dad, Monton Hamilton, affectionately called Bob, or Odell, was pronounced dead, and her mom was admitted in serious condition. This incident immediately sparked outrage and speculations into who really caused it, and was it really a robbery? However, life went on for Tonia and Everton. A little over a year after the death of Andre's wife, on the night of July 20th, 2020, Tonia picked up a trusted affiliate of her husband, Denvelin Minot, who she called Bubble. He then told her that he was going to pick up a friend, Asher Barnes, who he called Tiny. After picking up Tiny, Tonia had no idea that she was on the road to death. He had no idea that Everton had offered Bubble 3 million Jamaican dollars for him to murder her. He later subcontracted Tiny to do the job. He confessed every detail to the perked ears of detectives. Minot described how the trio traveled towards Sherwood in Portland. He then directed her towards a desolate area. At some point, Bubble exited the car and Tonia said, "Away ya go, I'm afraid. You don't see you around here, dog." Which means, "Where are you going? I am afraid. It's very dark in this area." It was after those words that Tiny took her precious life by stabbing her and then setting the car ablaze. While the scene was being processed, Everton arrived and identified her body as well as the car. Following the death of Tonia, there was intense public outrage, and the angry residents of Portland took to social media to express their discontent with the police authorities in Portland. They outlined that they believe that the murder of Marlene McDonald, Manton Hamilton, and Tonia McDonald were all linked. Months after, following the death of Tonia, Everton McDonald was charged with conspiracy to murder, while Ashna Barnes and Denvelyn Minot were charged with murder and conspiracy to murder. Everton McDonald was also subsequently charged with the death of his first wife, Marlene McDonald. Everton McDonald and Andrean McDonald is the true definition of the English proverb, like father, like son. In less than 11 years, they lost 3 wives. Andre is currently on trial, while his father is sitting in jail, pleading through his lawyer to be granted bail, which was wisely denied by the courts. For now, he remains behind bars, where he will be for a long time, hopefully dancing to the music he played. In 2017, the UN compiled a list of femicides, which are murders committed through gender-based violence. The data has mostly Latin America and African regions. Topping the list is El Salvador with 13.9 out of every 100,000 women murdered, followed by the small island of Jamaica with 11 per 100,000. Over the past few years, there has been significant outrage against gender-based violence in Jamaica. All things considered, I hope the families of the affected females can come together and join hands and realize this for what it truly is, a brutal act by men who place their own selfish desires before anything else. I would support them also forming a foundation that help women with mental health advice and support victims of gender-based violence, and campaign to solidify further changes in law to allow the violence that affect Jamaican women to be heard. These women were all vibrant and charismatic women who everyone can argue were taken from this world far before their time. I wish their family and friends nothing but peace in their recovery. Hey guys, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching Crime Island. If you found this video interesting, please remember to like the video, subscribe if you haven't done so, and share your thoughts in the comment section. And if you have any other crazy story like this, comment in the description. And with that said, see you soon.